I didn't realize that I'm still on a 15-minute limit. So, and I'm going to use the microphone because I don't know that it's recording sound-wise that great. So hopefully this will help a little bit. So as my awareness crept in that there was nothing that I could do wrong and there was no sin, or that I wasn't here for any penalty or a life review to mend my ways, or go into a place of purgatory or anything like that. And just know, in all of this, there was never any thinking going on. That's what's so hard to wrap the mind around, that the thinkingness goes away. So there was no conceptual thought like, where am I going from here? Or, ooh, is this a life review? Does that mean I'm going to some hell? None of that was happening. There was just this allowing and being and awareness going on. It's the only way I can explain it. Again, I know that it's really hard, unless you've had an experience like this, to tangibly feel this. So I'm not attached to any outcomes from this. I'm simply sharing because many have asked about it. The next experience, for lack of better words, again for me, was knowing that there was a return to this physical presence for me. Not because there were things I necessarily had to do or finish or wrap up. Not that there's any karma to tie. There was just this knowingness that the agreements I had with my son were still in effect. That there were things that we would do together, and that I could offer, in the apparent story of others, this knowing that we are perfect whole beings with infinite wisdom, that Earth is not a classroom. We're not here to work through karma. We're not here to eradicate things from the past. We're not here to make amends for our ancestors' behaviors. All these things that I had grown up believing. That we're here, and again, I'll have to do a whole separate video on this, but we're here for experience, and that's it. The next thing was this beautiful, again, pink energy around, and this being that I knew without having any reason to know why I knew was Archangel Gabriel. Now, I had no tie to angels before this experience other than the things that I learned in my Catholicism upbringing. Certainly I was always drawn to the mystical aspects of Catholicism. I loved the apparitions of Mary, Medjugorje. I loved any of the things on Padre Pio, and so I definitely will admit that that had always been part of my experience and one of the things I grasped onto in Catholicism. However, I never knew much about any of the angels other than those experiences. So for Archangel Gabriel to be the one that I had my experience with is to me somewhat unique. I was, for lack of better words, again led, knowing that it was time for me to return to the physical body. And this experience of vibration and shaking, popping sounds again, and this pushing feeling, almost like I was being popped out of a cannon, if you will. And the next thing I knew, there was this loud, like, popping sound. And there was an awareness that I was back in the physical body. And there was pain. Although there was no pain with the leaving of the body or the transitioning or what we call the death. Absolutely zero pain with the death. I watched the body go through pain, but I felt none of it, which is a gift, I think, to offer to people who are watching loved ones transition and thinking that they're suffering. The soul doesn't remember any of that. It just doesn't. It's a witness to it. And even if the physical being is still inside the body saying, I'm in pain, as soon as the physical being leaves that body, there's no remembrance of that. I promise you. I experienced it. This popping sound and returning to the physical body, being told that I was dead, going to the hospital, being airlifted because I was on a small island off the coast of Auckland in New Zealand and had to be airlifted to a hospital, the closest one being in Auckland, and being in an emergency room. Forever changed. Nothing was the same from that moment forward. And I will do follow-up videos to this because there's so many little details that I'm not able to get in this, especially because YouTube's limiting my little updates to 15 minutes. There's so many little stories in each one of these things that happened over the coming weeks after my near-death experience. A profound thing that was known to me from the angels before I left that I have carried forward in this experience, and I return to it and refer to it often, especially when this human stuff gets heavy. Your only role here is to breathe and not resist. Everything else is predetermined. You feel you have a choice in this. You're offered chocolate, vanilla ice cream, and there's some thinking here that you've chosen chocolate. Scientists have already begun to explore and understand that the brain already knows before the body responds of what the choice will be. This isn't just new age yah-yah stuff. The scientists are catching up with this. They're catching up with this, and more people are having near-death experiences. Transitional experiences, out-of-body experiences, whatever you want to call it. I'm not unique in this. I'm not special. Many things happened in the hospital and the weeks after my near-death experience. One of the things that happened was an immediate awareness that I was not the same. I'd killed myself, so of course I was under suicide watch. Doctors and nurses are coming in and asking how I'm feeling. As I had overdosed on medication, there was a part of this story of Kelly thinking, I am insane. I have damaged my brain. There are dead people in this room with me that I can see. There are angelic beings in this room with me that I can see. I'm hearing things. The walls are like molecules that are moving. I can put my hand through them. The ceilings are just these little vibrating dots moving really fast. I can see right through them to the sky. The doctor says to me, are you seeing or hearing anything that you shouldn't be? And now I see the irony in that question. So hilarious. And it was the first opportunity for me to trust this. I'm told by my guide Bernadette, tell them no, or they'll lock you up. Here I am, seeing this Indian woman as if it's hard as physical body as I see someone today, talking to me, knowing that nobody else is seeing her. Tell them you don't see anything that you shouldn't, or they'll lock you up. I'm wanting to run through the hallways and throw flowers and tell everyone how beautiful life is and how amazing this experience is, and I am in euphoria, complete euphoria. And I just killed myself. I'm seeing these things. So there's all this insane stuff going on. Am I insane? Do I believe that I'm insane? Am I schizophrenic now? Have I done something to damage my brain? Or is this real? Who do I trust? It was the first opportunity I had to trust something that was so outside of myself and yet within me the whole time. So I said to the doctor, "No, doctor, I'm fine." There's many follow-up videos to come to this. I had what I refer to as 3 angelic experiences while in the hospital. I was moved from the emergency room to another ward in the hospital where I was kept for observation. In New Zealand, they only keep you for 24 hours, which is kind of crazy. But several things happened that I'd like to share because I think they're pivotal in this, and I've been wanting to document them anyway. But I'm getting close to my 15 minutes and being kicked off again. So I'll wrap this second segment up with this. You are perfect, whole and complete. You're beautiful. You are a gift. And you are never, ever this. Until my next video, with much love, signing off.